Hey, this is News Rocky coming to you live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. from 80 Broadway, downtown Norwich at the Pie Hop Studio. News Rocky, hey guys, I just got out of rehab, political rehab, taking on fake news, and we know there's plenty of that out there. So tune in each and every day, get your full complement of all the fake news. We'll drill down on it harder than a pile driver on the WWE wrestler. Hey guys, this is Kevin from News Rocky, and welcome to the show today. Big show, Tuesday, the 15th of December. We're at the Pie Hop Studio in downtown Norwich, the Helms Media Group, bringing this show to you each and every day. Now, we did switch the time, guys. I know most of you guys have been sending me a lot of messages. What's going on? 10 to 4. What's going, 10 to 3, 4. What are you doing? We're starting every day at 4 p.m., 4 to 5. But you know what? I had a huge response yesterday. People were sending me messages saying, I love it because now I'm going to catch you on the car. And when I'm home, people are working from home as it is. Maybe they're all done working with the kids for school. They're all checked out. They hit us on and they're enjoying it a whole lot more. So we're going to be bringing this content each and every day, Monday through Friday, the News Rocky Show coming to you. So we are at the Pie Hop Studio here, and in our studio today, we have a really special guest, and I want to welcome Lori Hopkins Cavanaugh. How are you today, Lori? How are you doing?
Pretty well.
Pretty well. Well, I want to kind of introduce Lori to the listeners. A Norwich resident and founder of American Liberty Center, and former congressional candidate for the second congressional seat. Also entrepreneur, and we're going to get into some of your business that you've been in. You have a long career of public service and serving the constituents within your area of expertise, and you certainly are a constitutionalist. We'll get into that in a moment. But we were actually inspired to have Lori come on today. Saturday, I actually went out and covered. The News Rocky was on the road. That's right. We're actually doing the live remote stuff now. And I was out at the Dodge Stadium to cover this organized event this protest event at Dodge Stadium that was organized in regards to the COVID situation going on, not just in the city of Norwich, the state of Connecticut, but across the country and the world. So, Lori, I just, the listeners are going to have a lot they'll chime in and we will see some questions popping up, right? So if we do, we'll engage with them as we go along. But the first thing I want to just say, this is fighting fake news is a concept of News Rocky. Okay, that's what I do. And I want to just ask you out of the bat, is COVID fake, in your opinion?
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's new, the concept of News Rocky, so let's get it out of the way. We have official, hey, listen, guys, get it across to AP Press. She said it's not fake, because I know a lot of people out there are thinking you think it's fake news.
Yeah, they actually say I say that, and I've never said that ever.
Well, don't we have a lot of opinions from everybody in our worlds? Everyone's got something to say about something, right? So we got that out of the way.
Not enough people ask questions.
This is true, right? This is true. So let me ask you.
Especially the news media.
This is true. They don't, and we're going to get into that. And I appreciate you saying that. Why were you inspired? Let's start with this. What was your inspiration to hold this protest, to organize it? Tell a little bit about where you are in this organization you formed, and give us a little bit about your energy, because you have a lot of that.
That's amazing. I do not feel like I have a lot of energy sometimes. I'm very tired of working on all of this, but there's an urgency in terms of a driving force to destroy our constitutional rights right now. We've been stripped from all of our liberties. We cannot travel without being tested. We cannot get a job without being tested. Soon we will not be able to go to school or be able to get any kind of health insurances without being tested, without being traced, without being chipped. And none of that should happen, because what that is it's an enslavement of each of us individually. And it's the intent of the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization and all of the different spiderlings under the United Nations to have us chipped.
So wait, I just want to, can I just cover that though?
I just want to say, that's the urgency, because every day that goes by that they're testing and people are driving in and getting tested, we're that much closer to losing our freedoms.
So when you say chip, just so I can understand, do you physically say and mean that chips are being put in ourselves, our systems?
I can tell you that the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, approved a medical chip many, many years ago. I think it was somewhere around 1976. Mm-hmm. that medical chip was supposed to be implanted in us so that if you went into the ED, the emergency department, they could basically scan you and get all of your medical history. So of course, all of these actions are done with the greatest intent.
Was it rolled out as an option in '76? That was going to be an
It
optional
was
thing.
approved.
Okay.
Okay. It's a patent. You can look it up.
Okay.
It's pretty easily found.
Mhm.
This was a concept that has been adopted by the EU and these large trade organizations in order to put a number, basically a barcode on everything and everyone.
Mhm.
It's the everyone that we have a problem with. So soon they're going to get rid of cash. They've already tried that with this fodemic.
Mhm.
Get rid of the cash. Okay. So
Fodemic. It's you're saying the COVID situation, the pandemic, or the situation is called a fodemic. You think
it's not a pandemic. There's
It's-
no additional deaths. They're actually what we're finding out now, and the information that I'm going to get from the local health authority,
Yep.
Uncas Health.
Right.
We're going to pick Dodd Stadium, Hartford Health Care System, and our Uncas Health District.
Mhm.
And we're going to focus on this first. And we're going to ask them questions because nobody asks questions, especially the Norwich Bulletin.
Okay.
They don't ask questions and they don't show up.
You're
So-
talking, and we have listeners, Lori, all around the country. So
Mhm.
referring to the Knowledge Connecticut Knowledge Bulletin, the day paper was there and covered this.
Yeah, they did a fairly decent job. They
Mm.
didn't speak to any of the victims. It was every victim speaks.
Yep.
And they would refuse to. We had a young high school student
Mhm.
that he can't wrestle, and he drove. He had his mom drive him
Mhm.
because he wanted to speak about not being able to wrestle.
Mhm.
We had a college student with PTSD who, because of COVID, who wanted to speak out against his not being able to enjoy life, having
What
life
caused him
taken
to have?
away from him.
What was the actual effect? So for that story, I wasn't there to hear that, and I apologize.
Yeah.
What was the actual thing in COVID that has caused him to? And not to be personal, but you're telling a story. What makes him in that condition because of COVID? What?
He was arrested for not wearing a mask.
He was actually
He
arrested.
was actually arrested. It's on tape. I have to watch it again.
Okay.
But all these tapes are available. I'll get them to
Sure,
you
please
if
link
you'd
them. Yeah,
like.
definitely
Yeah.
put them out
They're
for the
on
listeners.
Connecticut Convoy on Facebook, and you've been posting
Yeah, 100%.
this show on Connecticut Convoy.
Yeah.
That was started to react to the knowledge that we're going to be shut down.
Okay.
We're going to have mandatory vaccinations. It's not about vaccinations. It's about chipping. Back to the chipping concept. There's an urgency here because in January we go back up to Hartford to stop this insanity. The state cannot mandatorily inject anything in our bodies.
Well, I would assume we have to give him some permission to do that. So staying on track, very good opening, and you kind of set the tone for the conversation here today. Where do you think the COVID started? Where did it come from, in your opinion, as far as this situation that we're facing with COVID?
Well, COVID is a coronavirus, correct?
Correct.
A coronavirus is a common cold, correct?
As it reads.
While we're going through the testing facility, we do not know yet how many cycles the testing that they're doing at Bacchus requires,
Yep.
but they're picking up the common cold.
Okay.
And then they're saying, look at all the cases of common cold.
Right.
Shut down everything.
So you're saying someone can be tested, and obviously we hear this
Not
out there,
have
not have
COVID.
COVID, but they're being tested as a common cold, and they're being logged in as a
that's
COVID.
positive COVID, yes.
And you're confident you have numbers and statistics, and
We are asking for those numbers and statistics right now. They haven't been asked. Those questions haven't been asked.
where did it come from, in your opinion? I mean, you're
Where did COVID come from?
Yeah.
Oh, I believe it came from the World Health Organization, China, the American CDC, the Chinese CDC. They've been working together against us for quite some time. The CDC, most people don't understand. Mr. Fauci and all these public servants have patents. They stand to make large amounts of money. This is not about keeping us healthy. It's about doing whatever China wants, because China is the world leader now, not the Americans.
So is your opinion? And I got to say, I'm going to say I agree, or at least this is my opinion. Wuhan, China, obviously the lab. I think it came and it was purposely, and I believe it was bioterrorism.
I do too.
So I mean,
Well, I know it was actually campaign interference. This was all planned
Interesting.
so far ahead.
You're not letting me stay on my task because I was
Okay,
going to ask you that
sorry.
question later. But if you want to get into it, so you say it's
I
campaign
just want to
interference.
say thank you so much for coming to the protest. At
No,
Dodge
it was my
Stadium.
honor. It was my honor. You know what? It was honestly, I didn't know what to expect in a sense because I haven't gone to any of the protests. I don't think that I agree with, like I said earlier, I don't know if I agree with everything, but I will tell you, each and every person that I interviewed, and we do have tape of it, and we will provide on News Rocky. We'll put it up there so you can see the
Awesome,
interviews.
awesome.
Each and every one of these individuals that I talked to, they were interesting, they were honest, they were passionate, and I had every reason to believe what they felt was real, and I actually agreed with most of it. So there was no reason to get into debating that whole subject. But again, I want to get back to it's bioterrorism. You said this is purposely to possibly interfere with the election of Donald Trump here in the 2020 election. Give me some thoughts on that. What I mean, why?
Well, what's even worse is what's coming down the pike. China's not done with us. And it's interesting. When I ran for U.S. Congress, I was doing a lot of research into the energy grid. And when I went to every single sportsman's club in the second district, 64 towns.
Big district.
Lots of sportsman's clubs.
A lot of
too. Lots of
highest
2A.
number of Second Amendment, highest gun owners in the state are in the second
Yeah.
congressional district.
At that time, I was a member of Niantic.
Okay.
And now I'm a member of Spray.
Yep.
But I have to say, one of the questions, and this is a dear friend today, was what do you plan on doing when you get down to Washington, D.C.?
Yep. And what was
Where
your
do you
answer?
want to serve? And I said, I want to look out for the electric grid. I said, I want our energy grid to be
Safe.
safe. And that was a lot. Now, 2014, nothing has
think
been
that's
done.
next?
Nothing has been done.
You think
to
that's
protect
next?
Yes, I do. And I did not expect COVID, even though I found out about Event 201.
I was going to stay on my notes, but there's no reason to because we're just going to, I don't think we're going to control it.
Sorry.
So I'm just
No,
going to
I'm
let
sorry,
it
you
go.
go ahead.
No. I
I-
want to hear it. Seriously.
So I'm used to hosting, not
I
not
know. That's all
answering
good.
questions.
Yeah.
No.
I'll have to do the interview, just so you know. No, so let's stay on that, and then we'll recircle back. So you're thinking that possibly the next big thing, and China directly involved, or this
Yes.
world power, and if it's the new world order or whatever you want to call it, that there's definitely some possible threat to our grid.
And what
the power
bothers
grid.
me about this shutdown, look at this is what I have a fairly clear crystal ball.
Okay.
Okay, when I ran for mayor of New London, my hometown city,
I
I
remember.
didn't run to win. I
Mhm.
wasn't a Republican. I was an independent.
Right.
I put a pretty little plan together.
Mhm.
I raised like $500, which I later donated.
Mhm.
I wasn't. It was my town.
Who'd you run against?
Mayor Finizio.
I like Daryl. I gotta be honest. I like Daryl. I love Daryl. I don't care if he's different than me in ways of our beliefs. I actually like him.
I have some great Daryl stories.
Yeah.
I have the utmost.
I'll set up. I'm going to set up.
I have
I'm
the utmost respect for Daryl.
I'm going to set up a meeting. I'm going to do the peace talks between you and Daryl.
No,
we'll go out to lunch.
Daryl and I are fine. Last time I spoke to him, he was out offering to represent me on an issue.
No kidding. Okay.
Actually, a First Amendment rights issue. And I had a lot of respect for him for that.
That's cool. I'm sorry. Let's cut your story. Go ahead. Tell me your story.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
You're talking about when you first ran, you had $500 you
Okay,
donated back.
So New London, I came to realize a lot of things. It's aware, isn't it? Sort of an evolution,
Mhm.
intellectually
Sure.
and spiritually, in all different ways in life,
Yeah.
right? But the mayoral run was nothing to prepare me for the congressional run,
Oh, 64 towns. It's a big deal.
and also the focus on the federal government
Right.
and national security.
Opened your eyes.
And I have a lot of friends across the country and,
Mm-hmm.
and globally because of that effort. I supported Justin,
Just most recent run.
Anderson.
Right. And we had great candidates in the past that have ran too, attempted to run. I mean, it's a tough seat to unseat.
Justin's going to run again.
Well, hopefully he does. Gets out in the gate quick and hopefully gets some
I'll make sure
fundraising.
his path is cleared like
Yeah.
I did the first
Oh,
time.
yeah, look at you. She's basically what Lori's doing is threatening anyone who comes out in front of Justin. You're going to get your ass kicked because she's going to come at you with a kick in the
I
ass.
got rid of the last one, but anyway,
Well,
it took too long.
uh-huh.
Should have taken the truth should come out faster. You asked what the
We're-
urgency is. It's the
you-
truth
are
that's the urgency.
I got to ask you,
it's a
Siri.
burning desire to
I,
get the truth
I
out.
got to ask you, Lori. I'll admit, I have a little ADD. Do you suffer from a little ADD? a little bit because it seems like me and you having conversations. We're going to go all over the place. So I'm going to try. My producers will fire me if I don't
Okay, go
stay
ahead.
focused on my
I'm sorry.
task.
It's my fault.
I don't want to get in trouble. Okay. So we're sort of, I want to get back to you said about this. This could have been, or you believe it could have been a planned attack on this country, on the world for that matter, in response to Donald Trump and his election bid for the second term. Do you
Yeah.
think that you have some thoughts on why you think that?
I approve.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Is this
So-
breaking news? Because if it's breaking news, make sure we get it.
I've been screaming at the top of my lungs for quite some time. Event201.org is a
Look, we've already had people saying lady is nuttier than a squirrel in dirt. That's what they're saying about you right now.
This is Nichols Murray.
Yeah, exactly.
Nichols, I get my. No,
You
you
just
just have
call-
to hide him. He doesn't
No,
matter.
no.
I don't care, Nichols Murray. You can say anything you want.
You're thick-skinned, right? You can
Hit me
take
with
it.
your best shot, baby. I can bury you with my facts.
There you go, Nichols. You've been called out by Lori.
And Nicholas, while you're at it, why don't you look up Event 201? You have to go to Johns Hopkins University
Yep.
Center for Security, for Health Security. That's a Bloomberg. This is Bloomberg.
Oh,
behind
it's
it.
all tied
It's
together,
all
isn't
tied
it?
together. That was an event that took place in New York City before anyone had heard anything about COVID-19.
Okay. All right.
So that was Bill and Melinda Gates.
Yep.
That was the World Economic Forum.
Yep.
That was the Chinese Center for Disease Control, rubbing elbows with the U.S. Center for Disease Control for a field operation based on COVID-19.
And what year was this, you're saying?
It was several months before.
Several-
Yeah.
So
September
last-
of 2019, I believe. it was.
2019. So last year, just before the outbreak
Yes.
of
And,
this.
and they used COVID as the pandemic field operation example. And they all sat around, all these very wealthy globalists, and they decided
Corporate media involved?
well, Bloomberg,
You're saying-
there's deep, but this is the point is that you can go to this site. You
Yeah.
have to go to Johns Hopkins University. What's the guy's name? Nichols. Go
Yeah.
to Johns Hopkins University and see how nutty I am because
You know, we have-
everything is there.
We have
You
another
can
question up there from
yeah.
Pat, and he says, "Why would China poison their own people?" I'll respond to that, Pat. They kill off more people in their own
I have
country
proof.
than probably any country in the world. So you know what? I don't think they care about life too much. I think they care about the almighty dollar at the end of the day.
Just go and look up a PDF called Healthy China 2030, and you'll see entire populations disappear.
Right, right. And so there's some evidence there. Guys, keep chiming in. We're going to keep talking with Lori. We're staying on track.
I just want
Yeah,
to say
finish
the
that
proof
point.
again.
Yeah.
You said what was the tie-in
Yeah.
between
Just try- yeah, this
this
whole thing.
global pandemic? The World Economic Forum had a gentleman sitting at that table. That gentleman is the executive director of the world, whatever. He's the head honcho.
Big guy.
He wrote a blog right after it talking about how Donald Trump has to come to an end.
He said that.
That it's on the work, but you have to go to work. You have to leave Johns Hopkins University, hop on over to the World Economic Forum
Okay.
and start reading his materials
Okay.
and how much he hates nationalism
Okay.
and how much Donald Trump is the biggest obstacle to Agenda 2030 and the New World Order, which is the United Nations global communist government system.
That-
And I'm not nutty. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, listen, listen, Lori. I don't think you're nutty. I think you.
Thanks.
I really don't. I don't think. And I said
I'm not.
just no. I know you. I know you're not. And
Although I am at times.
no, you're passionate.
My husband would argue with you and say she is nutty.
No, well, that's personal talk. Bedroom talk. I don't get into on the show, News Rocky. But I will say this: you and I both have people that have opinions about us. I've been through that experience being in politics. You being involved in politics and your passion, you fight for liberty. I believe that's true, and I know your heart's real. I might not agree with everything, but as I said, I definitely give you the
Okay,
respect.
I'm going to hit you up. What is the one position you think I stand for that you would not agree with?
That's a great question.
As
so
a man.
you know what? No,
As a man.
no. Honestly,
I'm kidding you.
honestly, I'm going to tell you, I'm torn on COVID right now. I know that it came from somewhere.
Sure.
I know it came from China. I do believe it was bioterrorism. I do believe it's real. I've watched people who have died from it. In fact, I met some of the people who were out at the protest in the suit with the mask on. He was brave enough to say he had COVID,
Mhm.
right? These are real people that have experienced it. I've watched, I have personal people in my life that have lost people labeled as COVID. At the same time, they had all kinds of other issues.
They didn't die from COVID. They
Right.
died with COVID.
So I think maybe I'm not as you know what? Maybe it's lack of knowledge. I'm not on the doorstep of conspiracy theory on everything.
Mhm.
And you sometimes, when you talk, right, it's like you're bringing up this information that's fact. You bring it up, you do the research,
No one's
It-
seen it before.
right? But
though.
it sounds conspiracy theory, right?
No
So
one has seen it, but I beg them to go find.
Right.
Just call.
Say
Hit
it
me
out-
with
head
your
it out
best
there.
shot. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you very much. I really love the.
Michelle and
Yeah.
Jake, right? You definitely, yeah. So you
Thank
know
you.
what? Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Keep chiming in, guys. You got a question for Lori? Please post it right up here. We'll answer it.
I just want to say that we need more people like you
Oh,
that will give people like us the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to do the research and bring it.
100%.
I was so disappointed with the Norwich Bulletin.
Mm-hmm.
The press release I sent them focused heavily on Annie Lamont.
Mhm.
The governor's wife is one of the
Is
most
she a doctor?
richest.
Is she a doctor? You know, Dr. Jill.
She's much worse than a
She's not like
doctor.
Dr. Jill?
I wish she was a pretend doctor like Jill.
Okay.
I'm a doctor too. Are you a doctor?
Well, why not? Everyone's a Dr.
I'm a
Pepper too.
doctor.
There you go.
I'm a doctor. You're a doctor. We're a Pepper. Yeah. So Annie Lamont
Mhm.
is a very powerful woman, and she is a venture capital queen.
Pretty wealthy.
She could raise $800 million in 2 weeks, all for COVID health related profit making centers. There's a conflict of interest here that I actually brought with me. I'm going to leave this with you so you can
Yeah,
take a
please
look
do.
at it. This is the state of Connecticut advisory opinion on it's number 2019-2 about the conflict of interest that's possible between Mrs. Lamont's business activities and Governor Lamont.
That's awesome. We'll definitely take a look at this. And when we have you back in future shows, we'll delve into this a little bit as well.
Because the money for the testing is
Yep.
going to her companies.
So you have proof of that.
Well, we're getting all the proof of it. I have the suggestions that they are.
Yep.
But we're asking specifically. We have information that leads us to believe that there's some very corrupt and unethical things happening.
How many FOIs, Freedom of Information Acts, how many requests have you written in your life?
A few, but the one I did yesterday to the city of Norwich.
Let's get into that in a second.
Very
Yeah,
important.
yeah. Let's get into that because I want to tie in that. I want to stay on track with the.
I've only written a couple, but they were all answered properly. I have two. I have a lot out there still, but they're being answered. So I'm not.
So what we're saying is anything that is public and it's municipality, state, federal run. Raybone says you found your co-host. They're thinking we might have found something here. My son actually asked Atlanta broadband prices going up. Is that because of COVID? Asking for a friend. I don't know what he's talking about. Jake,
Hi,
I'll talk to you.
Jake.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later. So I want to just stay
I'd like
on.
to hear from Jacob and how he's managing his life as a young adult. It's just amazing. Their stories are fascinating to me.
So what inspires Lori to want to
Kids.
organize the event on Saturday? Is it you're just down deep in your heart this conspiracy theory? Down deep in your heart the deep state. Down because you've studied, you researched. What are you going to do? Are you going to? I mean, obviously you're trying to campaign for, and I mean campaign. If
I'm not.
yeah, but you're in a way you are campaigning. You're trying to bring people to the table, right? You're trying to inform people. I'm uninformed. I went to that COVID testing site a week before that and got tested there.
Did you learn something on Saturday?
I learned that people should all get respect. I mean, I went there and honestly thinking I was going to judge more people than I met. And I appreciate everyone was
It was
honest.
great people.
It was a great people. It was a great gathering. You were respectful. I do feel bad. I feel bad that the cops are getting paid, to stand out in the rain. But
How many cops do you know?
well, you're a badass, Laura. You
I
drew.
am just like a little Italian English show off the Mayflower type, and I just, what harm could I possibly do? Maybe to a continent or two. I don't know.
I can tell you right now. You know what you definitely you drew some attention. You got the local law enforcement. How do you get along with the town here, the city of Norwich, where this event took place, and the police? How do you get along with them?
I've had the police at my house way too many times, and that's because I can't go to the police department.
Have you ever been handcuffed by them?
Oh no.
Oh,
I'm
no?
a good girl.
Okay, all right.
I'm a good Catholic girl.
Okay, yeah.
Good Christian.
All right. Do you
Girl.
get along with the local?
I'm a bad Christian girl, but I'm a good law-abiding citizen. I just know what my constitutional rights are.
Do you get
And
along?
I know they work for me. I don't work for them, and
Okay.
they need to do their jobs. times.
Do you get along with him?
I don't know what that means.
I think it's pretty clear. You're a pretty smart lady. Do you get along? Do you
I
have a
spoke to the
good
chief-
working
I
relationship?
spoke to the chief of police for at least 15 minutes at the rally.
Okay.
And I unfortunately lectured him, and that is not necessarily the right thing to do.
why would you lecture him?
Because he took a knee for Black Lives Matter.
But that
and
wasn't
Black
the- but
Lives Matter.
But that wasn't the
took
event you're
down-
at, though, right?
And Black Lives Matter took down the Columbus statue.
Wait, Lori.
And
Wait,
I'm
Lori.
not going to allow that to happen.
I need a hook. I need to hook you in, and I need to get you back to me.
That was the
No,
protest.
I need you-
that was
Lori,
the protest
Lori,
before this
Lori,
protest.
I feel like you're Alex Jones, and I feel like I'm Joe Rogan right now. Let me reel you in, okay? Okay, let me reel you in. First of all, he's a nice human.
He was, and
He
I
is.
wasn't mean to him.
He is a nice human. I
I
want
was
to tell you, I
just-
like him a lot. And I actually had the pleasure of working out of the City of Knowledge when I had the state job. But so you go at the
And I
chief.
had my white boots on.
Did you tell him
I
Saturday?
had my white boots on.
I know. Did you tell him Saturday that he took a knee? Did you get on him about that?
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
would you? What are you thinking about? Why?
Because I'm off two boats. I'm Hopkins and Brewster off the Mayflower, and I'm Italian. off
Brewster's from Canterbury, Griswold.
Brewster, Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Well, there's a Brewster
400
farm,
years. My family's been here 400 years.
big Brewster farm in Griswold.
Brewsters came to Connecticut.
Mhm.
They did.
Right.
And the Hopkins came.
The Kings.
Actually, the Hopkins came. I'm Giles Hopkins. That's who I'm. I'm from.
Are you
Stephen
related
Hopkins.
to royalty?
No, my Giles was not royalty.
Okay. All right.
No, we were. Stephen Hopkins was almost hung and died, and he was court-martialed, and he was almost killed. So I come from his DNA.
He was
And-
fighting back then, and you're going to
Yeah,
continue to
he's
fight.
the reason we are America, because what he did was say, "I'm not going to follow the rules."
How do you get along with government here in the town, in the city? So we covered knowledge.
Well, Peter Nystrom shouldn't stand for defacing the Columbus states. Christopher Columbus didn't bring one African.
Did they do it here?
American, yes.
They defaced it here in knowledge.
Beautiful piece of art.
Who defaced it?
Black Lives Matter said that it has to go, and they decided instead of taking down the entire monument, they would just deface Columbus and rededicate it to themselves.
Okay, so that's another story in itself. So you're basically
I went to that
you did.
and protested with the only black person that was there.
Do you think that Ernestine, was it Ernestine? My
Oh,
friend
no.
Ernestine comes up Holowati? No?
No, Getch.
Okay. So
He's part of American Liberty Center, my organization.
oh, great, awesome.
He's
So
an Ethiopian American.
well, awesome. He sounds like I heard you saying that.
He's
Saturday.
actually brilliant. He spoke at
Yeah,
both
I heard
rallies.
him. He's,
yeah.
he's a great guy.
Mhm.
So you're basically you're this person that's going to stand up against what you feel
I
is
don't want to be popular.
okay.
I
I think you're gaining some popularity now. I mean,
I don't want to care about
right here. Look at this.
popularity.
We got some comments.
Matt Abbey Rollins doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Who is it? Matt Abbey Rollins. You
Matt
don't
is a
know.
very good friend of mine.
Matt, you're an idiot. Columbus never killed a single person. He
I-
never killed one person.
Do you know that? How do you know that?
Because I know this history, and I
How do you know
I
that?
have studied it. I was a history major. Do you know that?
I should have asked
Do
that
you know what I
question.
studied at UConn?
No, tell me.
Latin American history.
Okay.
I studied. Well, I can tell you a lot about.
You speak Latin?
I can tell you not very well. I can tell you a lot about who were mass killers, but it wasn't Columbus. He was the Christ bearer, Matt. You are completely brainwashed and are not educated. Sorry.
So,
Horrible.
my,
And Black Lives Matter is a terrible, terrible organization.
Do you
Anybody
really?
who relates to Black Lives Matter.
I kind of, I know lots of members locally, Black Lives Matters
Okay,
members.
can you ask them where the Columbus statue is in New London? They've hidden it.
Look,
I'm sorry, fascism is fascism. Black lives, black fists. They can take it and they can put it where the sun doesn't
all
shine.
right, all right, Lori,
Mm.
it's my show.
Mhm.
Thank you. You're taking over. Listen,
No, I'm
listen.
not happy about Columbus.
no, but and I'll,
you
let's-
got my Italian
I
up.
got it's a
I
good.
had my English under control, and you got my Italian up.
Let's do this. We got a lot going on, right? And we're covering your event. We're getting to the, you're boiling down here. You're drilling down on a lot of stuff, and a lot of things we're talking about. Right, guys. News Rocky's about fake news, and you can like the conversation or not. I appreciate all the comments. Bottom line is, you're going unglued.
And Patrick, anybody that doesn't do their homework before, Patrick Richardson Jr., if you don't do your homework before you call me out and call me not that I'm not accurate, then basically I'm not going to be nice back to you.
It's one of my good friends. But
You
say it
can't have it both. You got to have it both ways.
All right.
I'm going to tell you something.
Listen,
if you're going to dish it out,
Yep.
expect it back from me because
that's
my
fair.
tongue is as sharp as a
you're
sword.
getting wound up.
My tongue
Do you
is
want some
my
water?
tongue is a sword.
Get some water. All right, relax. It's okay. We're gonna reel it in. Okay, here we go. So let's get into Black Lives Matters in a moment. Let's cover this topic because
They
I
threatened
want
to punch my throat in.
and I want to get to that. I want to
They're
get to that.
nice people.
Well, there are some beautiful people there, and one individual should not be judged for
There
everything.
was the whole group of them on Norwich Black Lives Matter.
That's
I have the screenshots. I can show it.
it's disappointing that one individual or a group of people would do that. But I know many people involved, and I'll tell you personally, I respect them and I can appreciate where they're coming from. I don't agree with everything, right? It's guys, this is the whole thing. We don't have to agree on everything, right? But we should be able to have a conversation without threatening violence and without
Right.
destroying things. And I agree.
Right. And those
So-
are the two things they do all the time.
Well, they do, plus maybe you say
and
they.
bully.
But when you say they, though, Lori, let's be real. It's certain people within that faction.
Actually,
There's certain
it's
people.
not.
There's certain people within anything groups that aren't really. They're bad actors. You know, I mean, why?
I think that's a
if we-
very rosy picture of fascism. Thank you. I know Mussolini had a lot of good people. You know,
I
the
lo-
Italian fascists, they weren't all bad. Hitler, you would have liked a lot of their friends. They walked around and they bullied people and they did a lot of stuff. You would have enjoyed them. They're not all bad people.
Patrick,
Nazis, not
Patrick
all
said
bad.
you were a great guest, and he asked an honest question. I'm sorry, Pat. I don't think it was. I think listen, keep engaging with us, guys. Lori, you're passionate, but you're getting me all wound up. I feel like I'm getting ready to go into the fight in the ring.
I hate white supremacists. I cannot stand any white supremacy, and I hate black supremacy too.
You hate anyone that suppresses people, anybody who's a bully.
I
Anybody,
think that we are one human race, and anybody who looks at skin color should be ashamed of themselves, especially Black Lives Matter.
what about white lives
I don't
extremists?
believe in white lives matter.
What about like the Proud Boys?
Proud Boys are great. They're
They're great.
awesome. Oh yeah, I'd invite them to my house for dinner.
You'd have
anytime.
them in your house
They're
for
not
dinner.
racist at all. They're black and
How
brown.
did they?
They're all black and brown and white. How can you say Proud Boys are bad? They're multicultural like I am.
How did they paint that picture of the Proud Boys and why? You think it's all just
Because people
election-
call names and they don't even know what
because
they're
of the
talking
election
about.
and Trump and bringing that whole attention?
No one can support. No black person, no white person, no Chinese. Nobody can support
See
Trump.
these notes? I'm just throwing them out because they're
Nobody
not going to
can
work.
support Trump.
I'm not even going to stay on the track
Go
today
ahead.
with you.
Too many things to go.
Jesus
And I
Christ.
love grunt style. You have grunt style on. I
Yeah.
have so much grunt style. I love grunt
All
style.
right, listen, I'm having fun with you. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a great show, great engagement. Your energy is amazing. I can't say that everything you
Look at
spout.
she's showing her ass. Patrick says, "Is this? Can I swear on this?"
Go ahead,
I
freely.
can swear.
freely.
Okay. Well, ass isn't really a swear
You
word.
can say what you want.
Anyway, right? All right. So, I am so passionate about getting white supremacy groups, but I don't know any white supremacists. I don't know a single one. Can you please introduce me to a single white supremacist? Do you know
I definitely do.
one? Who?
People who are racist.
Call them out, man. No, that's not a white supremacist.
Oh, racists aren't supremacists. You're talking about
No,
organized
people are-
groups.
All kinds of people are
Yeah, we don't.
racist.
I mean, Sterling.
I was told by a black person I was too white the other day.
too white.
How are you too white? That's a racist statement.
Why would somebody tell you too white?
Because racism is all over the place.
Right.
There's all levels of racism. There's out front in your face racism.
Right.
And there's the worst kind of racism comes from the Democrats. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh.
Mhm.
City of New London Fire Department, they
Yep.
were the political power in the City of New London for 50 years.
Yep.
Never had a single black person on the fire department.
That's not true.
They
Yes,
were
they
all-
did.
Not,
Yes,
not
they did.
until this came out.
No bullshit. No, they used to have that big dude. He was a big giant black guy. He was a fireman. He always worked on the corner. He was outside
What
work.
year? I'm talking
That
50.
could-
You're
that-
younger than me.
I'm 51.
I'm 60.
Well, I didn't ask for your age because they don't do that to
but
women.
10 years.
I'm telling you,
before
back in
knew,
80s
I
and
knew.
90s, Pat, you remember that dude's name. Say his name. What's his
I'm
name?
talking 50s and 60s.
Oh, well, all right. I'm saying back
I'm
in the
not
80s and
talking
90s.
The 80s and 90s. That's what I'm saying. You're young. You're young.
All right. But but the energy you're bringing right now is great. But I want to focus in on this. We're talking about a lot of stuff. Is there a tie-in to the COVID issues that went on in this world and the country, to the election, to the divide, to the Democratic Party trying to take control, to the election that is it fraud? Was this election rigged?
Absolutely. And it's not over.
It's not.
It's not. No way is it over.
Didn't they certify the vote yesterday?
The Electoral College will be not certified by the Vice
you
President of
serious?
the United States.
So I said this
There
today.
are
I said this.
widespread voter fraud. It would be a slap in our faces.
Do you think Mike Pence, who's an insider of Washington, D.C. for a very long time, the Attorney General Barr steps down. There's something going on. I believe that. But if this happens, there's going to be a civil war in this country.
President Trump can execute his executive privileges, and he can, because there has been election interference, and he can stop this from being.
Are you
certified.
saying it's going to happen that way?
I hope he does it.
Okay, listen, guys.
Am I saying I have? I don't look upset about it, do I?
No.
I'm pretty relaxed.
No, you're
I
cool
have
right now.
My faith is in God and in Trump,
God and Trump,
and right now.
not country.
No, I'm talking about the election.
But do you believe in country?
And the country right now, the country is in a civil war.
Do you think if your scenario plays
We're
out,
locked down into communist Connecticut. We're in a civil war. People just don't know yet.
if your scenario plays out, do you think we would have a civil war in this country?
There's going to be a lot of inner cities that burn down, but Trump will put them out, the fires out immediately.
Why do you think that the cities across the country prior to the election boarded up windows and respond or getting ready for the response of the election? And when Trump was announced not winning and Biden the winner, nothing across the country.
Nothing has changed.
I mean, what
Right.
do you think that was
Well,
purposeful? I mean,
yeah.
if he had been announced the winner, what do you think would happen?
Yeah, they haven't taken down their boards.
In Washington, D.C., they're still up?
All the boards are still up
Okay.
until this election is until the fat lady sings.
Mhm.
And sorry for anybody who's
Fat?
weight compromised. I'm going to make someone upset. When the fat lady sings, man, you better then you can call it a day. But I'm going to tell you something. It is going to be nasty if Biden sits in that White House. It is not going to be a tolerable country to live in.
Guys, you're listening to News Rocky today. This is part of the Helms Media Group. We have our special guest, and Lori Hopkins Cavanaugh. She's well known, not just to rock the microphone, but she's definitely well known to say it like it is. She doesn't hold back. A lot of engagement, guys. If you have questions for Lori or myself today, we're talking about the COVID topic, but we're kind of getting off track. But send in that message right there on the board so we can get and respond to it. Lori, you kind of going through this whole thing. I want to ask you this. Do you think the vaccination, I want to get into that. Do you think this is, would you take it, first of all?
No.
Why not?
It's an RNA modulator. It's not even a vaccination.
Okay.
And I'm not stupid. I'm not going to be the first one to line up to have my RNA change my DNA. Thank you.
So
it's the first of its kind ever.
So RNA, what did you say?
It's an RNA modulator.
Modulator.
Yeah.
Could you just, for the listeners, maybe explain a little bit?
I don't know enough about it to really have an opinion, but what I can tell you at this point is that it's not a vaccine. It's something totally different, and that you can look up. They're not hiding that. They're just calling it a vaccine because the media has dumbed us down to the lowest common denominator. And we need to find out more about it, don't we? And not only that, but I know that there are so many wonderful therapies and options to cure COVID, and it's not a fatal, deadly disease. And we need to just stop. We need to provide better health care. We need to take care of our elderly. We need the money to go to our nursing homes. We need to really focus on who is dying and who is being harmed by this. But it's not. Now it's a political football to take away our liberties. That's it.
And that's what you think. You think that this is a political stunt, maybe purposely, by the New World Order, this energy that's going on across the world. You believe truly in your heart that Fauci, Bill Gates, is he involved?
Event 201, Johns Hopkins University School, Bloomberg School of Medical Health, Department of Office of Health Security, event201.org. All your answers are there.
What med school did you go to is a question we just got put in.
Johns Hopkins University, that's where all the numbers are coming from. I went to their med school.
You went to their med school?
Yeah.
And you're not a doctor?
I went to their med school to get all the information from their med school.
Right.
So Nichols, I love your name. It's so cute. He would be, or her, or whatever it is. It, can I say, are you a her, he, it?
You got
it. But whatever you are, Nichols, go to Johns Hopkins University. That's a medical school. That's where all the information is.
Okay.
Just check it out. You can do research.
Listen,
I know you can. I have a lot of faith in you.
This show goes by fast, and I got to tell you, we're almost at an hour, which is amazing. And I see the smiles from the production folks over here, where you're just enjoying what you're doing. Lori, I got to tell you honestly, I didn't know what I was coming into today. I knew we'd have a great conversation. I knew we'd have great energy. I knew we probably, and again, I don't agree with Black Lives Matter. I'm a different opinion on that. I really am. I am all about. I'm a Republican since 18. I just have a
So
different.
you think it's okay that Black Lives Matter got rid of all the Columbus statues across the country? I don't see how you.
See,
can
they
stand-
didn't
That's
know.
really
Lori,
insulting.
Lori, they
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah,
They
so
did not. They did not. The public officials in those locations did, not them.
No,
They didn't do it.
Would you like to see the picture of Black Lives Matter
Tearing it down.
all over the
But that's
London?
fine. They should be arrested and then repurpose
weren't
that up there.
arrested.
Well, this is my point.
Because
I'm
of
not
people that have your opinion.
destroying. Well, no, hold on.
Yeah, because you sympathize with fascists.
I didn't say no. I don't
you
sympathize.
sympathize with fascists.
You're a little over the top now. A little extreme there,
No, I'm
Lori.
not. I'm telling the truth.
You got to hear. You're asking, I guess, right? So I want to clear it up. I don't sympathize. I do think we should hold people accountable. I also believe this. I do think there's a lot of people I know in that movement around here that I personally know, my relatives, things like that. I've had that personal conversation. I do buy into humanity, right? I do
It's
buy
not
in.
a human. It's
But
not a human rights.
for-
It's really a racist, horrible communist organization.
If you allow the noise to take that
no,
overboard
I have it all on
individually,
tape.
but individually one-on-one. Well, you say that, but
Go
let me.
to their website
how-
and just look at their platform. It's horrible.
Well, Lori, I want to ask you this
it's
one.
mean and nasty and rotten.
Okay, let's focus on this one.
Fascist and nasty.
Okay. We had the gathering here, and you criticized the chief of police, who I love and call him a good friend. And
For taking a knee, nothing else.
and what's wrong with taking a knee?
Because it's because first of all, Black Lives Matter.
Well, it
fry
wasn't
them up
Black
like
Lives Matters. It was
Black
people there
no,
that
it
were
was
black.
It was the black. No,
There was
no.
people there that he dealt with every day in his job.
Yeah, but it was
and they
the
were happened to be
organization
black.
that was in his face outside the front door of the police department
Yep.
by 1 foot,
Yep.
screaming with their fists about to burn down the police department and asking them to come and pray with us as they tore down the Columbus statue, which is the Christ bearer, and lying about the Italians and lying about Christopher
You
Columbus.
care about Columbus, really?
I do very much.
You do.
It's Christianity they're under. They don't care about Columbus. They're getting rid of the Christ bearer. Don't you see? This is not about Columbus. It's about Jesus Christ. It's about Christianity. And they have to get rid of Christianity to get rid of America.
Okay. Well, this is
America is a Judeo-Christian founded country.
right.
And Black Lives Matter is a communist.
And we're evolving.
organization.
We're an evolving country, and the country. I'm not arguing with everything you're saying. I'm not agreeing with everything you're saying.
If you
but
don't believe
Yep.
in the biblical basis for
Yep.
the Constitution,
Well,
you don't know the Constitution.
why do I have to believe in the Bible to believe in the Constitution?
Because the Constitution is
What if I'm?
based on the Old Testament.
I don't have to believe in God or the Bible to love
No,
my country.
No, but you have to appreciate the fact that religious freedom is
Okay.
the number one amendment in our Constitution. And once you lose sight of religious freedom
Mhm.
and the basis of our Constitution as the Bible,
Mhm.
and I'm not a holy roller,
Mhm.
then you
But
don't.
you
You are
applied it
not
to.
educated. You do not know where our Constitution has come from, and that's what our problem is. The Christ bearer, Christopher Columbus. Find out what the words mean.
So we have about 9 minutes before
And I'm
this.
not a toad. He called me a toad.
All right, come here.
Is that a good
over
thing?
here? Over here, me.
Is
me.
toad good?
I don't know. Well, you're a toad.
See,
today.
that's the problem. You told me. Check out the comments.
No, here we go, Lori. We got like 8 minutes, so let's focus on this.
Thanks,
the
Patrick.
city of Norwich had this event. They had you claimed that they destroyed the Columbus statue, but other than that, they had no arrests that day. They had no one arrested. Unlike around the world or the country where all these things took place, I compliment the Norwich Police Department. I compliment the community. I firsthand know there were some people, they're activists, Black Lives Matter, were telling bad actors to leave the town because they didn't want them to
So
destroy their
what?
property.
Are you?
That speaks some
You
volumes,
sound like
man.
a progressive bleeding heart right
No,
now.
I sound like somebody who's talked to people. I'm engaged,
But
Lori.
they don't know what they're talking about.
But what
So
do you-
you're taking
I'm
the ignorant
talking.
masses.
Okay.
The ignorant masses.
Did you just call people?
Yeah. Black Lives Matter followers are part of an organization that doesn't want property rights, that wants redistribution of wealth, that believes that all white people are racist, that all white people are white supremacists, and it's a bunch of really nasty garbage. So I can't feel sorry for them. I can't feel sorry for an organization that targets cops and puts targets on their backs. How many police have lost their lives? And the whole the whole dialogue is based on lies. Cops are dying. Cops aren't killing black people.
I agree with
Cops
you
aren't
on that.
dying.
Listen, every Friday we do Back the Blue here. Maria Knott's a part of the show. We are 100%.
She's awesome.
She's awesome. And we are 100% supportive of cops. And I'm a criminal justice, law enforcement's my backbone. Corrections, 21 years. So there's no argument there. I do think there's a lot of social issues. We can't resolve the social issues, Larry, by arguing. And I'm not saying you're arguing.
I want to help the black people, but Black Lives Matter doesn't want to help black people.
You want to help black people.
I can help a bunch of black people right now.
Right. Have you ever tried to help people?
I always help people.
But you know what I mean? This is the thing with me. Like, why do we have to put black instead of white, instead of just people?
Because the black people are the ones that are disproportionately thrown into jail by the people that are in the justice system.
You're talking like Biden, who actually helped pass a law in this country. We don't have enough time for all this, right?
I'm going to tell you, I have stories from black mothers that would make you cry.
So we have a question here, and I will get on this from Matt. Cops are killing black people, or is George Floyd? I think he said, was it a lie or I don't think it was.
I'm sorry, statistics matter.
Yep.
That's all I can say.
Well, listen, statistics matter. So you're saying statistically, and there's no defending this. And Matt and everyone that's chiming in, thank you for helping, this conversation today. Right, wrong, or indifferent, we're having it, right? We're having a talk. But there is statistically more cops that have been killed this year than black persons by police in the country.
And also,
is that true?
Is that true?
Yes. Is that true?
Yes, significantly more.
Then talk about it.
Well,
Tell them.
I don't have the statistics in front of me, so if I make a mistake, I'll never live it down. So unless I have this, like I said, I always do my research, and I brought a bunch of stuff on, Dodge Stadium. And a bunch of stuff.
Well, I tried to stay there, but you didn't let me stay on track because somehow we took a turn and we came around.
Race issues are really exciting for me to speak about because I'm not afraid to speak of them. I don't have a background of racism. I came from an inner city. My home is filled with people of color. My partners are people of color. And I'm not hung up on being white.
Do you wish you could solve this problem? If you could.
I want to protect the black youth and white youth and all youth. And children matter to me. Okay. And black youth are the biggest, they get just preyed upon by the system, by the democratic system.
Really?
Preyed upon.
So we're coming down on the hour turn here, about 5 minutes left. And I got to tell you honestly.
But not by the cops.
I want to say.
Not by cops.
We're going to stop the conversation right now in this part, okay? I want to say this. You're coming back on again.
Oh, thank you.
Okay? I'm pretty sure we're going to book you possibly. I'm probably off News Rocky and Lori is on News Rocky. So I think I just lost my goddamn job because of you. Thanks, Lori.
No.
Yeah, no. Believe me, I got to deal with this guy. I'm getting fired.
I give you so much credit for having the courage to have someone like me on your show.
What do you mean? Listen, this is the whole thing. I don't want to show, or I don't want to participate in a process where we're going to be censoring. We want to talk. We want to have this kind of engagement. And you know what? The anger that might come out of some folks and the passion that comes out of you, that's okay, as long as we can agree to have the conversation.
I will never step on your rights. I will never take anyone's rights away. Mm-hmm. But I will protect human life.
The people want to hear you speak, Lori. If you can give the people, I'm going to give you 2 minutes before we end this show. We got about 4 minutes left. And I want you to tell the people your thoughts on where they can find you, how they can help you, what you want them to do to help you and support you in your efforts. Okay. You got it.
Well, I am off social media for the most part because I got threatened by Black Lives Matter to crush my larynx. So I had to take down certain things because I got doxxed by Black Lives Matter that put my children at risk. All these nice people.
Talk about where they can find you in your platform.
So right now, the best place to find work that I do is Connecticut Convoy on Facebook. You can email me anytime. I will respond to you no matter who you are at lorionliberty@gmail.com. And I am also, you can hear me on WDRC 710 AM out of the Hartford Market. And I hope to be doing more video and production and radio, but
are you contracted with them?
No, I have
Stop there. We're going to contract. Don't worry. We're going to write you a contract.
I have an open seat every Wednesday. But the thing is that what's important is that we don't join groups that are hurt other people. And that is the problem. And I don't say black so hard. I say every word so hard. Matt, you really got an issue.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. So we're coming right down on this, and I got to tell you that this has been a great show, Lori.
And racism and communism are the two things in life that I do not accept. I hate communists and I hate racists. And I don't care what color they are, and I don't care
What's your favorite?
where they come from.
What's your favorite food?
Right now,
Yeah,
I would say I just lost like 40 pounds. I would
you
say,
look great. What's your favorite food?
Tea.
That's not a food, man. All right, so you're a
I'm
tea
a
drinker.
great cook.
All right,
I'll
really?
have you over for our party.
I can't wait. We can't wait.
We're
And
gonna have, I love,
so
I love to feed.
are you
people.
ready for the holidays? You ready for Christmas?
We have a Christmas tree up. Yes.
Yeah. You're gonna have 25 or 40 people in the room, as
We are
many as you
going to
want.
socially not distance, and we are not wearing masks, and we are going to swap spit as often as possible, rub up against each other.
Oh my gosh, you're amazing. All right, listen.
Are you afraid of the virus?
I am personally not afraid of the virus
No.
at all. I'm not afraid.
And you look great. I don't think you're dying anytime soon.
I don't think
Where
I'm dying.
are all the corpses? I wonder.
Well, you know what? We wanted to get into some of that, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, we will come back to this topic.
Do they need Dodge Stadium for corpses?
We'll get back to that on the next show when we bring you back here, Lori. And I just wanted to say
Thanks
thank
for
you.
listening, everybody.
I don't. Well, you were on fire. I'm seriously thinking that I'm going to get demoted today. So I appreciate it
I
very
don't know.
much.
I don't know why they would ever let you go. 'Cause
well,
you're so
listen,
special.
Thank you,
You're
Lori.
special.
Lori Hopkins Kavanaugh, you've been a special guest today on the News Rocky Show. Guys, we'll be back here tomorrow at 4 o'clock, 4 to 5, Monday through Friday, same time, same bat channel. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be talking about and drilling down on that fake news of the day. We will be having this special guest back again, and we will be talking more with Lori about her. You know what? Lori's point of view is pretty interesting. Guys, thanks for chiming in today. And I got to tell you, News Rocky was a blast, man. Let's get in the ring, boys.